Welcome back to the machine, a section of the Grace Commission Ministry where we try to grow in our comprehension and our conduct. I got a question for you. Who was the last historical figure that you went to go learn about? Second question. What for? Third question. What did they do that was so special? Would you be afraid to tell someone about this person at work? What about Isaac Newton, Galileo, Blackbeard, John Locke, Johann Sebastian Bach, Shakespeare, Leonardo da Vinci, Henry VIII, Martin Luther, Michelangelo? Why aren't you afraid to tell someone about these guys at work? Well, the same reason why you're not afraid to tell people about these guys at work is the same reason you shouldn't be afraid to talk about Jesus at work. In fact, there's more historical documentation with his name on it or about him than any other person in history. So there's really no religion about it. God has always believed in historically documented evidence, as we see in Exodus chapter 17, verse 8 to 9, and then specifically in verse 14. In fact, I think the Bible was actually the first book made. That makes it historical. So again, a rational person should want to know why. Again, historical, not religious. So this real person did something nobody did before. Jesus. Don't you want to know what made him a big deal? Jesus doesn't point to hieroglyphics. He points to what is historically documented. Why do we have to tell people more about him than what he says he is? You can see what he says he is by what's written and tell people. You can look at Philippians 2, verse 6. You can look at 1 Corinthians 8, verse 6. And you can look at Matthew 28, 18. You see, if Jesus is God, you don't have to believe in a personal God who can intervene in history and do things that the laws of nature themselves cannot accomplish. Those who refuse to accept the resurrection as a fact of history are simply self-confessedly left with no explanation, alternative explanation at all. So, in conclusion, these three independently established facts, which is the post-mortem appearance of Jesus, the discovery of his empty tomb, and the very origin of disciples' belief in Jesus' resurrection, all seem to point unavoidably to one marvelous conclusion: that God raised Jesus of Nazareth from the dead. I think the rational man can hardly be blamed if he believes it. So we have to make sure that as we try to reach out to our family, friends, and neighbors, that we convey to them that Jesus was a real person in history. If we don't, we're just hanging out.